Hello everyone. So my name is Sherry Simmons and I am back again with a new video, a new workshop for you guys on how to network as an author, how to gain opportunities as an author. This is such a true blessing to be given this workshop because I have been provided with so many opportunities just from networking and meeting people. So the name of this workshop is called Unlocking Your Potential in the Literary World. So let's get right into it. So again, my name is Sherry Simmons. I'm an author. I'm an aspiring author mentor. I mentor authors into having successful careers as author, not just teaching them how to write and things like that, but more so like giving them the ins and outs of the business and helping them to be their best selves in the literary world. So how do we do that? So I told you guys who I was. I gave my personal introduction already. So now we're going to talk about the importance of networking for authors. So it's very important as authors that we network in the literary business because how do you meet people? How do you get to meet a lot of questions that aspiring authors ask me as well. How do how do I find an editor? How do I find a graphic designer? You find all of these people by networking. They're not going to look for you, so you have to go out and network with literary professionals to meet them and make long-lasting connections. And we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of networking. We're going to talk about some common pitfalls of networking as well. So we're going to understand the literary landscape. The publishing world is always changing. Of course, there are trends in every industry. So there are going to be some trends in the literary industry that's on and off, up and down. So you really need to be paying attention to trends. There's different areas to network. So you can network on literary events, which can be online, offline. There are tons of online communities. Facebook is a great place to network with other authors. There's Patreon, there's TikTok. Social media is the best place to find online communities and literary events. For literary events, you also can check and look on Eventbrite and for events in your city. And if you want to venture outside of your city, there are tons of events for that, right? So first of all, you as an author need to build a strong author profile. So it is very important that you have a strong author profile because you don't want people asking when you approach them, well, who are you? And you cannot tell them who you are. So most times, at this point, I'm already 13 years in, and a lot of people are not asking me who. They've done their research or they've seen me around so much that they're like, oh, they feel like they know me. So it's important that you build a strong online presence. So I always tell aspiring authors, you don't have to be everywhere. Pick a platform and use that one particular platform. If you choose to jump into multiple platforms, learn each one because they all do different things, right? So I'm going to give you some tips for creating an engaging author profile on social media and professional websites. So your website needs to be very professional. So if you don't know how to, if you're not tech savvy with websites, I am not, please hire a professional at all times to maintain and sustain your social media presence. This is because these things need to be maintained and sustained. They are not to stay the same for months years at a time, right? As you grow and as you progress as in your career as an author, you need to make sure your social media pages and websites reflect that growth. So every time you write a new book, people should know that. Every time that you wrote a new poem, people should know that. Every time that you attend an event, people should know that you're attending events, that you're writing books, stuff like that. So effective use of social media. So best practices for networking on platforms like Twitter, which is X, I believe, LinkedIn and Goodreads. I do not use those platforms. I heard other authors say that they're pretty good platforms to network on. I pretty much network a lot on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Those are also great places to network, as well as YouTube. Um, so either way, it doesn't matter whatever platform it is that you want to network on. You still have to approach people professionally. Like, I do not like when people come to my inbox and just jump into whatever they need to ask, but no, hi, how you doing? And it's just like, who are you? And we also need to be mindful of our tone because we are using the computer and we're typing words. We're not hearing each other's tone. So what you mean to say might not be perceived the way that it's supposed to be perceived. So a perfect way of jumping to somebody's DM, because I do it all the time, I usually do some research on a person and go through their social media pages and say something that I like. So, um, good morning. I saw that you attended this event, and the book that you wrote, whatever the name of the book is, I really admire it, and I would like to have a conversation with you, meet with you, whatever it is that you want to do to discuss further. Um, that's how I would send a message, but also including my name is whatever your name is. Also being mindful that whoever, depending on whoever you're speaking to, how fast they're going to respond. Some people are really big in the industry and they just may take forever to respond. Sometimes not purposely, some people busy, okay? I know that I'm busy and I know that I lately had to start screening messages because it just became a little bit too much for people spamming. So sometimes it becomes hard to not know who's spamming, who's being authentic. So effectively using the use of social media is to state your name, state what you've seen from them or what you saw of them that you liked, and then asking them whatever it is that you want to ask. Attending literary events and conferences is like my best thing. I really love to travel. It is very important that you physically network because online networking is great. I made tons of friends online that I've had for so many years. But it's nothing like meeting in person, being able to hug someone, being able to have a conversation with someone in person. So if you are capable, if you are able, I suggest that you attend mainly physical networking events. You can even go to, and it don't have to be geared towards the literary profession, right? You can go to an open mic night. Open mic night is artists, and as an author, you're an artist. You want to meet other artists. You can meet a songwriter, you can meet a poet, you can meet a rapper, you can meet a singer. We're all artists at the end of the day. You can even meet a painter. You just never know who you might meet that can connect you to the person that you might need or really wanted to meet on your own. So, what tips can I give for making the most of literary festivals, workshops, and book fairs? I tell everybody, talk to everybody. I talk to everybody. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm that person. You always see me at some type of workshop talking to everybody. Um, I learned early on that you just never know who's in the room. And just by talking to everybody, you just don't know who you meet. You just don't know who will give you an opportunity or present an opportunity, or refer you to an opportunity. You just don't know. So at book fairs, if you are um, at an event and you are at a book fair, book signing, don't stand at the table the whole time. Have a person with you that can watch your table so that you can get up and walk around. Sitting behind a table is just something that I just don't do. Like I said, I like walking around, meeting people, getting to feel the vibes of the festival. And this is how people get to know you, right? Um, so I know that I work with a lot of introverted authors, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like talking to people, and I have social anxiety." Well, um, being an author is a social thing. Like when people meet authors, they meet us, they get excited. They want to hear about your books. And if you don't like to talk, you don't like to meet people, then I really think that you're in the wrong profession unless you're gonna be an online an author, which is fine. But this profession, in order to really make things work at events, you need to be social. Um, so how do we create meaning connections? So how do we approach and maintain relationships with other authors, publishers, and literary agents? And I'm also going to teach you the art of follow-up and staying in touch. So 48 hours is the key to follow up. Okay, so if you meet somebody in person and they give you their contact because they're about to run off or they're busy, you have 48 hours the most, because some people it's 24 hours to contact them and let them know, hey, I met you at such and such and we talked about such and such and I just want to follow up on a conversation. After 48 hours, I know for me, after 2 days, I'm gonna be like, cool. And you're telling me that you met me at this event, and I'm like, I was at the event and I met a lot of people at the event, so I don't know. And at this point, people tend to get uncomfortable and offended that you don't remember me. And it's like, it's not the fact that I'm speaking for me. It's not the fact that I don't remember you. It's the fact that imagine seeing thousands of people, because I've been to Black Writers Weekend, for example, and there are literally thousands of people that you literally can meet in a day. That's a lot of people to remember. There's a lot of faces to remember, and it's not to offend anyone if I can't remember your name or what we talked about. So this is again how you approach people when they give you their contact information. I personally, this is what I do. While I'm in the person's face, I am taking their contact and I'm sending them the text. I'm sending them the email right then and there, so that is fresh in both of my minds. Like, hey, I just sent you an email about it, and they'll say, okay, I got it, and they'll respond when they respond. Um, when you're approaching other authors, professionals, or literary agent, always have some type of common courtesy. You're introducing yourself, letting them know what it is that you want specifically. I always tell people be as genuine as possible. I personally don't like it. I've not been a victim of some authors trying to trick me and tell me that they have, oh, I wrote this book and I have this book and it's this many pages. And then when I get the manuscript, it's not that. So please do not lie to other people. That is a quick way to put a bad taste in people's mouths. So you just want to have common, cordial, professional courtesy and etiquette when you're talking to people. Yes. So the bigger they are, the more professional you want to be. But it doesn't matter how small they are. You still should say, hey, hi, my name is such and such. Where did you find them from? Where did you meet them? Did you meet them? Do you know them? If you don't know them, what is it that they have done? What is it that you want from someone, right? A lot of people network with the intention of just getting something from someone, and I totally do not like that. And I tell people that's not what you should be doing. You should not come into having a conversation and networking with people just with the intention of getting something for yourself. People can usually sense that, and the bigger they are, we pretty much know that's what people do constantly, especially all day, every day in people's inbox asking for stuff. So don't just come into people's inbox or people's email and just ask for stuff. Um, what is it that I can do for you, and how do you know that I can do that for you? What did you see on my social media presence? And people like when they do the homework. Like, I like when people do their homework about me. Some people come to me, they really have gone through all my social media, my LinkedIn, and this and that, and they start telling me about myself. And they're like, oh, I really like when you did this and you wrote this, and I really would like to work for you. I'm like, okay, you did your homework. People like when you do your homework on them before you start having conversations with them. So leveraging writing groups and communities. So here are the benefits of joining writing groups. When you join writing groups, you depending on what the group is about. So you can join a writing group specific for your genre. You can join a writing group specific for your gender. You can join a writing group specifically for your culture. So there's all types of groups, right? So if we are, if you're in a specific genre, like urban fiction, for example, and you join an urban fiction group, the benefits of joining that group is that all other writers should be writing urban fiction. So now you can pick up some styles, some tips. You can find out they should be posting where the urban fiction events are. You should be making connections with other urban fiction authors. So that's the benefit of joining genre specific groups. If you're joining gender specific groups, now that's different. There are writing events and conferences that are geared towards specifically women authors or Black authors or Spanish authors. So now you get even more of a bigger pool of events because these events are geared toward women. These events are geared towards your genre, and these events are geared towards your ethnicity. So that's the benefits of joining writing groups. So whatever writing groups you want to join, feel free to join them. I'm in a whole bunch of Facebook groups, and you get a lot of benefits. I always tell people ask questions in them. Don't just be the person scrolling by and not saying anything. So ask them questions, comment on questions. Um, that is the benefit of joining groups. So you don't just join groups to join groups, and you're not doing anything, right? You got to contribute in order to gain from the community. How do you collaborate with other authors? So there are great benefits to collaborations with and co-authoring. I have never co-authored a book before. That's just something I don't want to do. But I have done an anthology, and I'm not sure if that would be considered co-authoring because we each wrote our own story. My definition of co-authoring would be two authors writing one book. So I'm not sure if but if y'all know and y'all find out, let me know. Anyway, the benefits of collaboration, period, with another author is that you get to reach a new reader base, right? They have their own social media follower, you have your own social media follower. So now the two shall meet because you guys are collaborating on Instagram Live, you guys are doing a YouTube video, you guys are doing a podcast together. I have done so many Instagram lives with up to 4 people, 3 people. You can do 4 people on an Instagram live. So it'll be 4 of us on the screen and we're all talking. So now that's 4 audience all combined together watching one live. So that's just a way to be introduced to a whole new reader base. So there are tons of ways that you can collaborate. You can go on a podcast with someone. You can write a book together. You guys can present a workshop together. There's countless things that you can do with someone. If you are the one that does your own content courses and you teach classes, then you can invite someone to be a co-host or they can be like the guest facilitator for the day. I've done that. So how do you find these people? That's the same way in finding any publisher or literary agent that you are looking for. Social media is your best bet. We can just Google in and put in what we want, and then a whole list of things pop up. So again, the same networking rules apply. Please be courteous to people. State what you need or want from them. Make sure you follow up within the time frame. I've been getting some people following up months after the fact, and they're just like, I really don't recall, not to be rude, but I don't recall having conversations with you 2 months ago when that's literally 60 days of me having conversations with tons of other people. So these are some 9 common networking mistakes that we need to avoid. So I already talked about one where you come into somebody's inbox email or you message them and you do not introduce yourself. For me, that is like a pet peeve because I don't enjoy when people talk to me and I have no idea who you are. Most of the time I have no idea where people find me from. So if that is another thing, like where did you find this person from? some people have large platforms and they have multiple platforms. So it'd be nice to know, well, where did you see me from? And what is your name? And how can I help you? Um, so you should not just be coming into the conversation wanting something. Of course, I know that you need or you want something, but that should not be the first thing that comes out of conversation. Again, being as cordial and nice as possible, addressing people by their real names. Um, a lot of times people use, social media handles or fake names on their profile. So if you can find their real names, which would take a little bit of looking and digging around. So if they have a book, but I'm quite sure you can find people's real names by looking and digging around somewhere. Most likely on a LinkedIn page, or a website. So do some homework on the people that you are looking to connect with. You don't go in there empty-handed, don't go in there blind, and don't go into these conversations trying to trick people. Because I guarantee the bigger they are, they already know and have this mindset of somebody would make, what do you want? Because I met a couple of people that I wanted to, just take a picture with, and they're just like, well, what do you want? I was like, I just want a picture. So I get the frustration of why I was asked that. And I only just wanted a picture. I didn't want anything else than a picture. But some people will answer you, because it happens to me twice. With the, what do you want? And I think another thing that we need to understand is not to take anything personal. Again, the bigger a person is, the more interaction they have in a day. And we need to understand that there's 24 hours in a day. They have to work. And to get all these messages, and you gotta sift through them, figure out who's being authentic, who's being real, what is want. That is a lot, right? That's answering emails and DMs is like a whole nother full-time job. So please, 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 guys, do not make these mistakes when you're trying to network with people. You will put a bad taste in people's mouths, and they will no longer want to associate with you. And then they just might, have a conversation with other people, or your name might come up with other people, because it has happened that either someone else has brought up somebody's name, and I was like, oh, I met that person, and they're rude. And they're like, oh, really? Yeah, I would not suggest speaking to a person because they're rude. Or it would happen the other way, where I would be mentioning someone like, oh, I really want to work at such and such, and then somebody else is like, no, you don't want to work at such and such because they did this and this and that to me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So please, 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 please be careful with all the things that I mentioned, y'all, because it can happen. It has happened. So just be careful. Tread lightly. So I thank you for watching this workshop, and I really hope that you got a lot out of this networking. I highly suggest that you attend as many networking events as you can, ask as many questions as you can. Remember that sometimes when we are in certain spaces and you see someone of big stature there that you really, really want to meet, ask the questions. They're there for that reason. You may never have an opportunity to meet this person or these people again this close. So while they're there, ask them. I always believe there's no such thing, especially coming from an aspiring author, as a dumb question. You don't know what you don't know. So therefore, for me personally, if I know the answer to the question, I'm not going to say that's a stupid question. I was once in your shoes, and I had to ask questions to get to the position I am now. Ask questions. That's the only way you're going to learn. It's the only way you're going to grow. And there are multiple people that can answer the question. So if at first you don't succeed with one person, try again. So you all need to be collaborating with other authors, of course, because we're all colleagues at the end of the day. It makes sense to collaborate with people in your genre, but it also makes sense to collaborate with people that are not in your genre because of the audiences, different audiences. So we don't know, just because somebody's in a thriller genre, we don't know if their readers read romance. We don't know if their thrillers read your specific genre. So collaborate with everybody. You just never know who knows who knows who. I can guarantee I went to an event in November, and it was so funny how all of the speakers on the panel, which I was on the speaker on the panel, knew the same person that I knew. So it's just, you guys need to really take networking seriously. Networking can open doors for you and provide you opportunities you will not get otherwise if you never were in the room. Y'all gotta get in the rooms. So guys, this is the end of the workshop. I really hope that you take heed to my advice. I wish everybody good luck in their literary journeys. If you wish to comment on this video, let me know what you thought. My email is from pain to purpose inc@gmail.com. I own my own business, From Pain to Purpose LLC, and we have a website, from pain to purpose LLC.com. I really enjoyed having this workshop conversation. I started talking about this a little first in August in Atlanta on the big stage. We talked about networking opportunities. I was so happy to do it. So now I got asked to do this live workshop for you guys. So here we are. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope that you all